I warmly welcome to the 360-degree Project Cargo Training.
Hi, good evening friends. I am Ashish Gupta. I am working with KSS for last 6 years. To start with, I will have a introduction of KSS. KSS is a road link ICD, AEO certified ICD located in Talegaon, with headquartered in Pune. We commenced our ICD in 2008, so we have completed 15 years of our ICD. We are in 17 acres of land, and we have a separate dedicated 6 acres of empty yard to facilitate the empty containers. We handle near about 9,000 TEUs per month and annually 1 lakh TEUs. We have our own 159 GPS enabled vehicles and associated 300 plus vehicles with us. We have 1 lakh square feet of bonded warehouse with dock and ground loading and unloading area. We have a dedicated team of custom staff. We have a dedicated DC deputed for our ICD for faster clearance of the cargo. We have tied up with all major shipping lines like Maersk, Hapag, ONE, WCL, Hyundai, MSC. We serve in our ICD. We can allow the empty containers for the export loading from our ICDs. We provide the services like import and export, ocean, bonded services, air export and air import services, DPD, transportation, triangulation of empty containers, and domestic container storage. We have our own domestic containers which we can use for the storage purpose in ICD or at the customer premises. Next. Regarding project cargo, ODC cargo, the project cargo are the cargo which are oversized cargo, heavy or high value shipments. We often carry this cargo on the freight rate containers. Examples: wind turbines, wire rigs, construction equipment and power plant equipments like transformer, generators, boilers, etc. Next. The key components to handle the project cargo. This is the very important topic. The key components are the equipments with the help of which we handle the cargo, like restacker, cranes, with the help of restacker and using the proper slings. We need to load and unload the cargo, and the slings should be properly calibrated every year so that it is safe to use while loading and unloading of the cargo. Specialized vehicles like low weight vehicles, low weight trailers, extendable or multi-axle vehicles should be used to carry this type of cargo. Next week. Planning is very important while moving any project cargo. Planning includes like dimensions verifications. The accurate dimension of the cargo is very much necessary to handle the cargo, with the help of which we can decide which type of equipment should be used or which type of vehicle should be used to carry this type of cargo. Route surveys are very important. Like some routes have some height restrictions, some weight restrictions, some no entries. So before doing any type of project cargo, we need to do the route survey. Proper route survey should be carried out. Bridge and tunnel assessment. We should have a proper assessment that there are how many tunnels and bridge comes in the route, and what are the height restriction to cross that tunnels or bridge. Feasibility studies, evaluation of the project requirement, timelines, cost involved in it, and the resources which we will be using for the practical execution of the cargo. Permissions, like ma'am said, are very important. We should not try to carry any project cargo without the proper RTO or local authorities' permissions, port permissions, which may lead to the delay of the cargo, or it may impact with the high cost of penalties if we didn't take the proper permissions. Next. Logistics executions, preparations before moving the cargo, inspect the cargo. We should ensure the readiness of the transportation, the readiness of the equipments which will be entering the cargo, on time delivery. Since project cargo is very time sensitive, we should have a proper schedule to meet the project deadlines and avoid any costly delays. Safety protocols, the cargo should be properly laced, chopped, then it should be properly done before doing the movement, or it may cause to an accident. Coordination is very important between the exporter, forwarder, transporter, ICD or CFS operator and the port team. Without proper coordination, it may lead to the delay in the movement of the cargo. Next. Risk assessment is very necessary. We need to identify the risk before doing the shipments, before carrying out any shipments, such as mechanical failure, environment hazardous, cargo damage. Evaluation of the risk assessment is very compulsory, very strict. Assess the likelihood and impact of the identified risk and mitigation plan. We should have a proper developed strategies to reduce or eliminate the risk, like using the alternate routes or securing modes of the cargo. Next. Safety training. Proper safety training should be provided to the operators who are handling this cargo, this type of cargo, whether it is restacker operators or drivers who is carrying the cargo, vehicle drivers. We should always have a proper emergency response plan to mitigate the risk. Next. We should have a continuous monitoring system, like real-time tracking system. We should always use the vehicles which are GPS enabled to monitor where the cargo has reached or the trailer is reached. Instead of calling to the driver and again, we should always use the GPS system, which will avoid the disturbance to the driver. Feedback loop. We always gather a feedback once the project is completed, so that we can use that feedback in the next consignment, and we can avoid the failures which we have done. Some do and don'ts. Project cargo, loading securely. We should ensure that the cargo is properly packed and laced, damaged, and securely loading is done on the container to avoid any accident. Communications, as I already said, communication is very important with the port team, with the transporter team, to know when the gate is opening. And this type of cargo usually goes under hook loading. So we should have a good communication with the port team then when we have to send the vehicle on for the under hook loading. On-site safety measures. We should conduct pre-dispatch inspection of the vehicle, inspection of the machines which are using to handle this type of ODC consignment, route mapping, predetermine the best route with the minimum obstacles to avoid any road closure, to avoid any diversion in the last moment. Next. Proper planning and feasibility study. Every consignment should be done with a proper planning, with timeline defined for the movement, for the getting in of the container, for the loading and unloading of the cargo. We have to follow the regulatory compliance, all necessary R2 permission, port permissions, local police authority permissions should be taken before commencing this type of movements. Detailed risk assessment. We need to identify the potential risks, such as weather condition, any cyclone forecast is there or not, road blockage and infrastructure limitations. And we should always have a contingency plan be ready with us. Suppose on the route you have done, there is a accident which have made. So we have to take diversion route. So you should always have a diversion route in your plan before execution of the movement. Proper equipment and manpower. We should use proper equipments, proper type of vehicles. If low weight vehicle is necessary, we cannot do that movement on the high weight vehicles, or it may lead to the accident, or it may lead to the delay in the movement of the cargo. We should have a proper skilled and trained person to handle this type of cargo. Some don'ts while doing the project cargo transportation. Negligency, we should never work on the assumption. We should always do pre-transportation survey, route survey. We cannot go with the assumption that महीने पहले वो रूट चालू था तो अभी भी चालू होगा. No, there might be some diversion, there might be some road closure on the route. So we have to do the pre-transportation survey. Underestimate regulatory requirement. Don't overlook and obtain all necessary permission for the movement. Ignoring load specification. Do not ever exceed the weight. Do not do the overloading of the cargo on the vehicle, because if some accident made and it is overloaded, your insurance might go to lapse and you will not get any coverage of the insurance. Inadequate loading securing, proper lashing, choking. Again, I will do it is very important part while transporting ODC shipments. Proper lashing and choking should be there. Overlooking safety protocols. Don't ignore any safety guidelines. Safety drills should be there. Next. Lack of real-time monitoring. Avoid operating without GPS. With insurance coverage, always make sure that your cargo is covered with proper insurance. Last minute change, there should not be any last minute planning in ODC shipment. It should go through proper planning. नहीं मेरा पैसा प्रीपोन हो गया, कल है, उसका कट ऑफ है, वीकेंड है, उसको निकालो. We should be planning properly, considering the weekends, the public holiday, because we don't get permission in this time, and you can miss the vessel. Ignoring weather condition, always check the weather condition when you are doing the transportation, or you should never proceed without considering the weather forecast. Improper coordination, proper coordination should be there. Again, with all the parties. नहीं, we should not go with the assumption that planning हो जाएगा, कंटेनर आ जाएगा, loading हो जाएगा. No, everything should be properly planned, properly communicated between all the teams member, whether it is forwarder, exporter, transporter, port team, everyone. This is some highlights of the cases. We have handled total 102 ODC shipments in 2024 and 101 import containers in the year 2024. The highest cargo handled was 32 metric ton and highest dimension was 14.76 height containers which we moved through the Nasik. And in a single lot, we have done 17 FR on the longest route, that is JNPT, ICD, Zahirabad, JNPT. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Is designed to equip you with the tools, skills, knowledge development which need to excel in managing complex cargo operations.